Hey guys, Damien here. Hope you guys are all doing alright out there. What we have for review today is the iNew V8. This phone came from GearBest, GearBest.com. I'll put a link down in the description. With the coupon code ChinaPhoneArena, you can get 10% off this phone or any phone in the shop. The specs of the iNew V8, it's an MT6591 SoC, 6-core CPU, clocked at 1.5 GHz. The GPU is Mali 450, RAM 1 GB, ROM 16 GB. The WCDMA 3G is 850, 1900, 2100. The GSM 2G is 850, 900, 1800, 1900. The LCD, it's a 720p and 5.5 inch. First thing I want to talk about is a few negatives with the phone. The scrolling, when you're scrolling very slowly, can be a little bit jittery. Not a big problem, it's just a little bit jittery when you're scrolling very slowly. When you're scrolling normally, it's no problem at all. Just wanted to mention that. The other thing is that when you're switching between H and H+, when you have SIM data on, when you first turn SIM data on, you get a little bar down here saying SIM data has been turned on, or something to that effect. And what happens is with this OS, or this version of the OS on the iNew V8, when it switches between H and H+, or H+ and H, the notification comes back on. It doesn't interrupt your internet connection. However, it's just a little notification that pops up here when it switches between H and H+. I just wanted to mention that as well. Moving on, the flash could be a bit brighter. It's of okay brightness. However, I think iNew missed an opportunity here. I think they could have included a bit brighter flash because it's dual LED. Could be a great opportunity to catch very good indoor shots. I do want to mention that even with the flash off, the phone does take decent indoor shots, and I'll have a few sample of those up on Gizbeat. Alright, let's go over some of the positives. First thing I want to talk about is the charging. It's super fast and super smooth. Fast charging in 2 hours. That's a 2400 milliamp battery. It's very good. It's on par with phones like the Samsung S5 and iPhone and the top phones by HTC, etc. Super steady as well. You know, the iNew V3 had some issues where it would stop charging at 88%. I wanted to discuss a little bit about the 1900 megahertz. This phone does have 1900 megahertz. I'm going to take a look here. WCDMA and 3G. Take a look here. Mobile Uncle, I have it set up to show you guys. You see there it's 1900 in engineering mode. It's a big step up. A lot of phones are starting to include that now. And it's a good thing for Americans. If you're on AT&T or AT&T MVNO or any network that requires 1900, this phone will be able to connect to 3G with that. One of the other prominent features of this phone, besides the rotating camera, is the ability to control the phone from the rear touchpad. Let me see if it's on right now. Let me check. Yeah, it's on. And take a look here. You can see that I can control the phone single-handedly without needing, and because it's quite a large phone, it's a pretty cool feature. You can also scroll up and down. You can scroll up and down or side to side, either way. Problem is that sometimes when you're using apps, you can also set this, and I know I've already discussed this in the unboxing, but I just want to go over it again for those who haven't heard it. The thing is you can set this to open a custom app. And what happens is when you're using the phone, say you're chatting or scrolling through Facebook, you inadvertently tap on here and it opens the custom app that you have it set to open. So there are two ways to avoid that. You can either turn off that functionality altogether by tapping here, custom open app, just turn it off like that, and then when you double tap it's not going to do anything. So you can use a phone. The other way to avoid it is if you're using the case. I'm going to show you that right now. Show you that. If you're using the case, this has a back here, so if you're using it and you're not touching that area, it's not going to cause a problem. It'll protect everywhere around here, so it's very easy to know whether you're off the case or not. So there are two ways to avoid that. You can either turn off the tap to open an app functionality, or you can just use this case here. Some of you may be using it anyways. It's going to be up to your personal preference. I just want to mention that. Moving on, what I want to show you guys, the OTG is working great. Let's take a look here. What I have is my trusty $6 gamepad. This thing is the generic gamepad, and I'm going to show you. We'll plug it in. Boom, we're right there. It's instantly recognized. and I'm going to show you guys we can control the phone. Now obviously you're not going to control your phone like this, but I just want to show you that the OTG is working no problem. You plug it right in, bam, it's plug and play. If you're into Super Mario, it's a good thing. Alright, we're going to unplug that. Oh yeah, the other thing I want to mention, I was going to go on this earlier, but I want to mention it right now because we're here. Super tight USB port, probably the tightest USB port that I've ever had the opportunity to plug. It's loosened up a bit now, but when I first got the phone, it was, yeah, see, it's still a very tight fit, but when I first got the phone, you really almost had to force it in there. That's a good thing. So over time, you know that it's going to maintain its connectivity there. It's not going to get super loose and fall out easily. Super tight USB port, very cool. Alright, moving on. Let's see, the build quality, very good. Excellent. Let's get the gamepad out of the way here. Excellent build on this phone. Everything is very solid. The camera turns, you can see I turn it there and I go like this, and it doesn't change angles at all. You do have to actually use your fingers to do it, so it's not, when you're moving around, it's going to stay where it's at. It's not going to be flip-flopping around, which is cool. It's not too light, not too loose, not too tight, not too lice. Okay, Gizby. Alright, let's take off the back pad here. Looks like I've already had it off a little bit earlier there. It's already got some, it's already started to come off. There we go. So take it off, and we can see, actually I want to mention this real quick too. You can see that on the back here, on the rear, we've got these connectivity points, and it's important that those stay up against the phone here. Here's NFC, and here's the connect for the touchpad. And I think I did forget to mention earlier, this phone does have NFC, so if I did forget to mention that earlier, there it is. And as we plug this on, if we put this back on, it's got a very nice fit. There's no creaks. It's nice and tight, solid in the hand. Very good build quality on the iNew V8 here. They did a good job of that. Tight fitting back, and the phone feels solid. So it's not only well built, the phone is also very cool looking. I already mentioned the top camera here, which is a rotating. The actual design of the phone, when you pull this phone out, people really notice, because it's not your standard Samsung looking phone. It's a very unique looking phone. You look at the back and it's got these edged or angled at the top, and then as you come down, it tapers off, or it's not angled down here. It's a very cool looking design. You've also got at the top here, there's some texture here, and that's for holding the phone, for gripping the phone when you're holding. It gives you a little extra grip. A very cool design here. We got it slightly rounded at the bottom as well. Very unique looking phone. I like what iNew did here with the V8. Very strong GPS. Let's take a look at that now. I'm going to open the GPS test app, and let's see. I am under concrete right now, but let's see what we can come up with. Okay, it's not on the home screen, so I'll go into the app drawer, and we're going to open GPS test. It's right here. Let's see what happens here. See how quick we get a lock. As I said, I am under concrete. If I was actually out, it's very quick to catch signals, and let's see what we get here, how long it takes to actually get a lock. There we go, we're locked already. And it will catch on to some more satellites. There we go, there's another one. So the GPS, very decent, quick locking with some decent signals. It's not quite as good as the W200S with GPS. It's probably the best phone I've seen with GPS is the THL W200S. However, the iNew V8 is quite good. It locks quite quickly and keeps some fairly strong signals. As I said, I am under concrete now. If I was to step out into the open, it would become a bit stronger. You can see we're picking up extra satellites as I'm talking here. The excellent Wi-Fi. The Wi-Fi is really strong. It's easily the strongest Wi-Fi that I've had a chance to review here. Normally I test it in my backyard, and I step out about 200 feet. It's probably about 80 paces or so. and some of the strong ones have been THLT11, the W200S was strong, the Doogie DG550 was strong as well. And normally when I step all the way back about 200 feet, the Doogie DG550 has strong Wi-Fi. However, about 200 feet, it'll start to fluctuate between one bar and 0 bars as far as Wi-Fi strength. And with this, it's still fluctuating 2 to 3. Maintains a strong contact. I couldn't walk any further, but I would guess that I would get at least another 25 to 30 to 40 feet. So 250 feet away from or 240 feet away from a $20 home router is very good, very excellent. It's right up there with Samsung and the top phones. I want to talk about the KitKat OS on here a bit. Very smooth, no problems. I haven't had a single force close from any app. I'm going to open up Skype here now and show you guys just a couple of the common apps. Skype working no problem. And I hadn't loaded that all day, and you see how quickly that loaded. They do load quite quickly. And you see we have no problems at all. Skype is working no problem. The Facebook app, I'm going to open Facebook now, and hopefully nothing embarrassing comes up when I open it. Let's see. Open Facebook, opens right away, very quickly. I haven't had any force closes. The OS itself is very stable. And you can see Facebook working no problem. And I'm just going to shut that down here in a minute. Shut that down. So all the common apps, no problems at all. I use Chrome. The Play Store is working, no problems. Take a look at the Play Store. While I'm thinking about it, I do want to let you guys know I'm going to have a gaming test come up. We had a request for some specific games, and I will be sure to test those games. So you can see we have no problem with Facebook, the Google Play Store, and with Skype, no issues at all. I do use Chrome as well. Chrome, no problem. No force close with KitKat. Very happily surprised with the KitKat OS and the stability on the iNew V8. So beyond those few negatives I mentioned in the beginning, overall the phone is excellent. Probably one of the best China phones that I've had the opportunity to review. Great build quality, unique looking design, the GPS strong, the Wi-Fi even stronger. You've got dual LEDs up here. Well, they could be a little bit brighter. They're of decent brightness. The camera, very good. I've got on Gizbeat.com. If you guys checked out Gizbeat.com, I have samples from this on China Phone Arena and on Gizbeat, sample pictures, and they come out very good, very strong camera on this phone. The as I said, KitKat stable, no force closes. The LCD, very good. If you guys check out the unboxing, I do have some video there showing the LCD angles. The OTG working no problem. The backpad, excellent sensitivity. Touchscreen, perfect. 1900 megahertz 3G, and the fast charging in 2 hours. The few negatives I mentioned in the beginning, that is the overlay coming up when it's switching H and H plus to H. Those are not deal breakers, at least for me they're not. And also the slightly jittery scrolling when you're going very slow, that could also is something I want to mention, but again, it's not a deal breaker. One more thing I want to show you guys is the difference in Antutu scores. I'm going to go over the details on Gizbeat. I do suggest you guys come by and check out that post. There's some surprising numbers here, but I'm just going to show you the MT6592 does have a significantly higher score than the MT6591. However, the total is not all that the end-all be-all. There's some very interesting differences in these two scores, and I suggest you guys come by Gizbeat.com and I'll show you in detail the difference between each of those scores. Okay, in closing, I want to say that this phone, the iNew V8, is a big winner. Excellent build quality. I've already gone over the positive and negatives, but a very cool phone, and I can give it my recommendation. You guys can get this phone from GearBest, coupon code China Phone Arena, and that'll give you 10% off the phone. One more thing, guys, the next review coming up is going to be The Voyager 2 from Doogie, that should be coming up within the next couple of days. I'm going to have an unboxing of this phone, and then within a couple of days after that we'll have the review. Alright guys, subscribe to the channel. I'm going to have a video game review coming up on the iNew V8, as well as some wars between the Doogie DG550 and the iNew V8. Alright guys, subscribe and stay tuned. Damien over and out.
What is it about? Okay. Do we just go in the ground, or is there something after all this stuff, Holmes? Like, what is later, Holmes?